Hi everyone, it's been a while since we have last uploaded content in my channel. That was mainly due to some personal issues like a change of work, but now I'm back and I will try to make up for the lost time by uploading lots of videos. We will begin today with the unboxing of the Pocket Go S30. Pocket Go S30 came out in late 2020 and it was a big surprise for the emulation community, not due to its specifications. Those are mostly close to the low end, although it has a decent battery life and a good screen, but mainly due to its design. Now, it is obvious that the theme and the total design was based on the Super Nintendo and especially on the USA version of the Super Nintendo. You can see the color theme here. It's mainly the same with the Super Nintendo, and also its design is based mostly on the Super Nintendo gamepad. You can see how it looked back in the day. Now this is the actual device, and there is a rumor that the people who designed it are part of the 8BitDo company. Now 8BitDo is a familiar brand name for all of us who are into emulation, retro or vintage based gaming, and this is one of the most famous gamepads, and as you can see next to it, it looks quite similar. Now the packaging is a basic Chinese packaging. It only has the cable for charging, and it also has a small manual with some basic description of the device, nothing more than that. Now the good thing about this device is how easily it is for you to mess with it, to change it. Now I'm not going to cover that thoroughly on that video, as we are going to focus mostly on the unboxing and how this device feels on our hands. But you're gonna get a first glimpse of how easy it is to set it up. Now the whole let's say manufacturing quality is quite good. The device feels nice on your hand. I'm going to put the box aside so we can focus on the actual device, and then we can have a look on its features, its buttons, its design, and then have a better look on the actual emulation. Now this is the device. When you turn it on, it goes straight to the emulation selection. Now this is let's say a front end. It doesn't have a decent settings menu. It only has the language change and the brightness change, and the shell has a number of pre-install emulators and some basic ROMs. Now everything is done through changing, manipulating, deleting, and let's say inserting files in the actual micro SD card that comes with the device. For instance, if we go to Neo Geo Pocket, you can see the available ROM, which is SNK versus Capcom. Now the overall emulation quality is let's say decent towards mediocre with regards to the actual pre-installed emulators. Now there is usually one emulator pre-installed depending on the system. In some cases there are two, but you can again find new firmware. There is an excellent community already that is producing better firmware. They have even managed to install RetroArch in this device. Now Pocket Go S30, according to the website, says that it can support up to PS1 games, but this has a lot of asterisks. I mean, okay, it may support some basic early era PS1 games, but to me you should go a step below that. Maybe use it for some Super Nintendo, especially for Game Boy Advance games. But other than that, don't expect too much based on the quality. Now let's see some more games. This is the Mega Drive emulation. Let's select beat 'em up here. Let's select Streets of Rage and let's see how it performs. Now, as I said earlier, the quality of the device is quite decent, especially for a $60 emulation handheld, and this is quite good. Let's go and select our character, and then we can see how it plays. Now, of course, you do not expect, let's say, frame skips, lags here. The button response time is quite decent, but this is done due mostly to the fact that we are playing some early 16-bit era games, and I believe that the Pocket Go S30 can be magnificent in that type of games, in that generation. Its portability is great. It's not a big or bulky device and you can carry it everywhere. But we will see in more videos that we will follow how we can improve this performance, how we can add more emulators, and as I already said, there is a great community behind this device where you can find more firmware and updates to improve the performance and improve the emulation. In this emulation you can also change a number of settings. You can also save your state, load your state, which is quite good. It's not the same case for every emulator. It depends on what emulator the front end is using for its system. Now let's go to some other system. Okay, this is PSP, and as you can already see, it has a PPS SPP emulator for this type of system. We have seen that in some previous videos, and I'm going to have a link in the description on my PPS SPP guide for the Retroid Pocket 2, but you can also use that guide for emulating PSP games on the Pocket Go S30. Of course, don't expect the Pocket Go S30 to run demanding games, 3D engine games or things like that. For a basic game like Metal Slug that we have selected here, which is a 2D, it uses 2D sprites, the emulation quality is quite good. We're going to see that right away. But other than that, don't expect to play quite demanding 3D games on this device. Now, as you can see, the response time again is quite decent. There is no frame drops or frame skips in this game. Again, this is PPS SPP, so you can use all the settings that you can find online for every game. As you can see here, we can go into the settings and change everything we like, or we can save our state and load a state. This is of course a great addition for emulation that you use on a handheld device. But other than that, I'm looking forward to installing some more games on the PPS SPP for the Pocket Go S30 in order to have a better look on its performance. That was all for our first glimpse of the Pocket Go S30, a decent value for money emulation handheld that you can use for 16-bit games and early 32-bit ones. Be sure to follow the channel and subscribe, as there will be more videos, especially on how to improve performance of the Pocket Go S30. Thank you all for watching.